Local newspapers are thriving across the country.
Thanks for joining us live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael Miller.
Community newspapers is more than just in a newspaper. We're all over social media, connecting our community. Let's go, Miami, go! Miami Community Newspapers has over 11 e-newsletters to serve Miami-Dade County. Our job is to connect our community to everybody. Miami Community Newspapers, it's Miami!
Live with Miami's Community News, and we have two special guests today. George Joseph, the CEO of Dade County Federal Credit Union, and Annie Wilkinson, the Executive Vice President. Thank you both for being here.
Sure.
So people go, what is a credit union, and how did the original credit unions get started across the country? So, sir, why don't you tell us about that?
Well, a credit union is very similar to a bank in that they provide savings accounts, loans, different type of investment options. But the main difference with a credit union is that it's regulated by a different body. It's regulated by the National Credit Union Administration, but it's also a not-for-profit. So credit unions don't pay taxes. So in reality, credit unions can basically provide better interest rates on loans as well as on deposits, and certificates of deposits. That's the primary difference between a credit union and a bank. It was formed, credit unions came about primarily because a lot of times the restrictions that banks had in the past were very difficult for members or individuals living in the communities to be approved for some of the loan programs. So credit unions were a little different in that they looked at the whole person, the whole being, and not just at their financial background, not just at a credit report. They looked at the character of the individual, the type of collateral that was being used. And so that's basically the main difference between a bank and a credit union.
Okay. And Annie, so it's Dade County Federal Credit Union. There's some reason why it's called Dade County Federal Credit Union. So why don't you tell us about the origins of that?
Sure. So we initially started the credit union, was implemented back in 1936 with 3 or 4 county employees. They put together in a cigar box $134 and formed the credit union in order to service the employees of Dade County.
Of the government. Of
Dade County, yes. And through that partnership, the credit union has enhanced and has grown throughout the years to be where we are today. And we're still serving Miami-Dade County.
It's incredible because ever since we've been associated, when sometimes people walk in and they're writing us a check, some people still do that, all right? And I'm looking, oh my God, there's the logo right on it. I said, I know those folks. So let's talk, if we could, sir, about the trends and what's going on in the banking industry. And is it okay to call the credit union in the banking industry?
Sure.
Is that appropriate?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what's going on, and we see that there's challenges certainly with housing. And so why don't you tell us about that, including about a program that you're offering to people as far as down payments?
Sure. Well, first of all, what's happening in the banking world basically is the overriding subject right now is technology. The technology that's used for identifying individuals who are a better risk as opposed to individuals who are a higher risk. So that's a lot of what's happening with all of these fintechs that are starting up. But as far as you're asking specifically about the programs that we have, in addition to Dade County Federal Credit Union providing loans and lower loan rates and high deposit rates, we also have certain grants that we've received from various organizations. One of them in particular that I would like to highlight is our HPA program. Annie is really the specialist in that area, but it's a great opportunity for individuals who live in certain communities to receive loans that are forgiven 100% after they've been in the home for 6 years.
So that's on your website, right?
It is.
And I know we're going to have your website address up on the screen pretty soon. And so people can go there and find out more. But Annie, why don't you tell us about it?
So the Home Purchasing Assistance Program is specifically targeted to those consumers in the area that are struggling to purchase a home, right? And we are giving up to $100,000 grant money that does not need to be paid off if they live in the property for 6 years to first-time home buyers. First-time home buyers has many definitions. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your first home. So if you haven't owned a home for 3 years, you qualify. If you are within the AMI, 140% of the AMI, Miami-Dade or Broward County, and you purchase a home in the targeted areas, you will qualify for the $100,000 or 25% of the purchase price. And that money does not need to be paid back if you stay in the property for 6 years. It will show on your credit report. It will provide another perfect trade line because it's always current, right. And it will help both ways. And the $100,000, the consumer can use it towards down payment, split it up down payment, and or closing cost assistance. So it's money that we have because we are, again, a credit union and we're here to service our members. It's money that we have to give away and help the buyers that today traditionally cannot afford.
So filling out the application, go ahead.
This can be piggybacked with additional programs as well. So if the member qualifies for other programs, a lot of times one program would state that you can't combine this with another program. With this program, you can combine it with additional programs where grants are given to help with down payment. So for instance, this one is a loan that's forgiven 100%, but you can also combine it with programs that we may also have that will help individuals who are looking for a down payment for a home. And it doesn't exclude you from applying for both of these programs.
Yeah. So if I can add to that, George, it's stackable, right? So
correct.
Our grant is up to $100,000. We can stack it with other grants that the county may have, the Federal Home Loan Bank. So in essence, you can get up to $100,000, maybe $150,000 to assist in purchasing
so
a
often,
home.
When we look at application forms, it's overwhelming. And most of us have been overwhelmed. Tell us how easy it is for somebody to apply so that they can see if they qualify. So tell us the process with that.
So the process is you go out to our website, you submit your request to get pre-qualified. Our home loan counselors will contact you, take your application over the phone, and then we send the paperwork out to you. But we first want to get you in the system so that we can set aside those dollars for you.
So people shouldn't be afraid of filling out the application.
Absolutely.
I was just about to say that even if they need the help, for instance, there are a lot of individuals who may not be as computer savvy or not as familiar with the use of a computer. We can also help them in that we would actually walk them through the process, hold their hands as they do the applications. So that's what Dade County Federal Credit Union is here to do.
So we know that's one of the great things that Dade County Federal Credit Union does for the community. What are some other things that your organization does to help people in the community?
We also have a program called the RISE program, and it was created during the pandemic, but we still have probably, I want to say about $18 million in the program.
Somewhere in that range, yes.
Where these loans are given to individuals who've been in business 2 years. Annie, why don't you elaborate a bit?
So,
Annie knows the specifics about all of these programs.
So the RISE program is targeted for small businesses in Miami-Dade County only. And they have to at least have $5 million or less in revenue, yes. Be in business for 2 years. And it's very easy to apply. It's to provide those small businesses, those mom and pops that traditionally cannot access capital to grow their business. It's an extremely easy process. You simply go online or call us and we'll walk you through the process. And the closings are done either electronically, or if you'd like, you can come into a traditional bank. Yeah. It's a revolving loan fund, so as we collect the payments back, it goes back out to the community. It's we hope going to be here evergreen forever to continue helping the small businesses.
This program came about through Miami-Dade County Board of County Commissioners, headed by Mayor Carver, and of course, Commissioner Eileen Higgins was very involved in putting this together. And it's just worked out wonderfully, because we've been able to help over 1,000 small businesses get the funding or the capital necessary, especially during the pandemic, to keep the business going. And as a result of that, we've seen, obviously we've had some losses as a result of it, because some of these businesses do go bad, or they don't do as well as they intended, as they had planned to. But having said that, we've also helped so many of these small businesses, these mom and pop type businesses, get on their foot again. And we have so many testimonies from so many individuals about how wonderful this program was to help them out, because there are not as many restrictions as you would typically have on a small business loan. And then in addition to that, the amounts can be as high as $75,000. So and the interest rate is minimal.
When you mentioned up to $5 million in sales, tell us about the smaller business. If somebody's doing $500,000 a year, or $700,000 or $1 million, are they in that range that they can still apply for that?
Yes, and Mike, absolutely, you're on target. Those are the businesses that we're seeing applying. It's very rare that we get someone with $5 million in revenue. The ones making $500, $600 in revenue are the ones that are really benefiting from the program. And we've seen them throughout the 3 years that the program has been in place grow their business and thriving today.
So with technology, as we were mentioning earlier, it's changing ever so quickly. So some people are a little bit behind with that. So they can call you and you can walk them through that. If they can go to one of your offices after calling, set up an appointment. Where are some of your branches?
We're located from Homestead to Pembroke Pines. Will be our newest branch.
Right.
So
if somebody could call you and say, listen, I'm down in Homestead, I don't know how to work a computer, can I come into the office? Can they go to one of their local branches if they call at a time?
Yes.
Years ago, we used to have the city of South Miami rented space from us for micro-lending, and they would have classes for those people when they would come in. It was really encouraging to see these small businesses, and they would help them get over that hump, which is, how am I going to get money to create whatever it was. So it was nice to see that you have. So that's a second or third program. Or are there any other things we should know about?
Actually, we also have a payday program for individuals who are caught up in this horrible cycle of payday lending. They never basically see their paycheck, because it just goes to pay off that loan that they did before from the prior paycheck.
Yes.
So what we've done is we have a program, as opposed to charging 400% or 500%, as some of these payday lenders do. We charge a rate of approximately 18%. However, if you were to be a little more engaged in that, you attended some of the classes that we have that help educate you, we will drop the rate 3% every year. Is that correct?
Every year for the first 2 years.
Because we know that people, when they're engaged, are more likely to do what they want.
Yeah.
At FIU, they tell you, if you're a student, if you work more than 20 hours a week, your odds, and don't live on campus, your odds of graduating are tiny. If you live on campus and that's what you do, the odds of being successful are much higher, and that's what I'm hearing.
And if I can just add, the Payday Rescue program that George spoke about, did you know that in South Florida alone, in Florida alone, there are more payday lenders than there are McDonald's? And that is powerful, right? 400-500% they're charging for these loans.
Yes.
So we are really targeting our members and the consumers to get them out of that cycle, because they don't even realize that they're paying 500% on a loan.
We've seen those stories every once in a while. So thank you for sharing that.
Now, can I just add one other thing? In addition to these programs that we have to help out on the low income side of the spectrum, we also have amazing programs for auto loans, regular home purchasing. We have
unsecured. Are those first mortgages?
Yeah. unsecured line of credit, home equities, all of the programs that are offered at any financial institution, Dade County Federal offers as well. So I want to make it clear to your listeners that we're not, yes, we're highlighting these programs because we want to make sure that your listeners understand that we are as involved in the community or assisting the community as we possibly can. But at the same time, we also provide all of the type of banking services that any other financial institution offers.
So if somebody wanted to make an investment and take some money and put it into your bank, they can get some CDs, if you will, through you.
Absolutely.
So you have all
and very competitive rates, at very, very competitive rates.
They can get a first mortgage, second mortgage. They can do cars.
Credit cards, they can do
unsecured
loans,
so
anything.
And they can get a down payment plus up to X dollars. They can get sort of a micro loan, if you will, for the
down payment as well.
That's wonderful. So as we mentioned earlier, things that change very fast, especially in the banking industry. It looks like one year everything is good, and the next year it's like, what just happened, right? So I think in today's environment, I think a lot of people are, what's happening? So tell us what Dade County Federal Credit Union is doing to secure the future of your credit union, so people can feel confident in your financial stability.
I think just the nature of the programs that we offer tells you that we're there. It's not that we're getting there; we're there. Dade County Federal Credit Union is at the cutting edge of the technology, but at the same time, we can provide the hand-holding if necessary for individuals. So we want to make sure that we work with everyone on that spectrum, from those who are completely in the dark as far as finances and banking goes, all the way to those who are the specialists in the areas and they know everything about banking. So we want to make sure that we communicate to your listeners that we can help on both ends of the spectrum.
So we see that banking continues to change, and it couldn't have been 15 years ago. There were commercials of people standing in line at the bank, and the competitor was making fun of the long line. It was like a Disney World line, and they say, you don't have to wait with our bank. So we know today a lot of people don't go into a financial institution. They do it on a device in their purse or in their pocket. So tell us about some of your services you offer that people can access via their computer or their phone.
Sure. We have an online, what we call our online banking platform or our online program. You could actually even become a member of our credit union without even stepping foot into one of our branches. And then you can apply for a loan. You can transfer funds from one financial institution directly to us through the automatic clearinghouse, or what we refer to as ACH, or a wire transfer. You can create multiple accounts within your membership. So we have everything that's available by the largest financial institutions in the country are available at Dade County Federal Credit Union.
So one of the things that we know that people want, they want it to belong to things. You can call it a business club, you could call it a religion, you could call it a class, or you can call it going to the university. No, your organization offers certain classes. Tell us about those classes that you offer, Danny.
So to the community, we're offering a variety of classes through our GenU program. We go out to the schools and we do financial education. We have on site, we have the walk and run club. We have
that's regularly walk and run club.
That's on Thursday night.
Thursday night.
On every other Wednesdays, we have Zumba for the community.
So Wednesday night Zumba, every other Thursday, run walk. We like to walk.
No, the other way around.
Right. Every other Wednesday is Zumba.
Okay.
And the walk and run club is every Thursday, and that's open to the community.
That's out of your branch in Kendall.
In Doral.
In Doral. I'm sorry.
Right across from International.
Yeah. So people can go there. They don't have to be a member. They can go. All right. Is there a charge for that?
No charge.
So the Zumba class, how did that start? Whose idea was that, Annie?
So we have an amazing marketing team, and they put together several programs to bring in the community, really to assist the community in financial and fitness, healthy fitness. So they put together the program alongside and brought it to Mr. Joseph and myself, and we were on board.
We understand there's a connection between your head being in the right place and your financial stability, at least an awareness of where you are. And there is a direct connection, there's no question. When people are more involved, all right, they're more likely to be happier, their families are likely to be happy, and the employers, and they are more likely to be involved. So let's look down the road 6 months, a year, and 2 years, and maybe up to 5 years. Tell us about what's going to be happening at Dade County Federal Credit Union and in the banking industry.
As the banking industry evolves, we know that technology is evolving quickly and very fast. We're prepared right now, and we are ever preparing. Right now we have ITMs, our interactive teller machines, because we still have those members that like to walk into the branches. And if there's a line, like you mentioned earlier, who wants to wait in line, we have these ITM machines at the branches where they can use the machine, pick up the phone, and have a virtual teller that's behind the scenes and conduct the traditional teller transaction without having to wait in line.
And this is face-to-face. They'll actually have a screen in front of them where they will see our employee and they can speak with that employee. There's also a phone that they can actually use so that it's, in case they wanted even more privacy and they don't want anyone within hearing distance to hear what's going on, they could pick up that phone. And we can do, on that system, they can do anything from withdrawing cash, depositing money, applying for a loan, doing a request for an advance, just a lot of the services so that they don't necessarily have to wait in line.
So I follow you on Facebook. Right, I love the pictures of the classes and of the walkers. It's really, very good that you're doing that, because people look at these very happy faces, because it's hard to find a depressed person that's in a Zumba class. It doesn't work. So let's talk about the other side of the business. What is Dade County Federal Union going to do to protect itself against these changes, some of which we don't even know what they're going to be?
Well, we have an amazing technology department, but in addition to that, we also contract with a number of third-party vendors out there that are specialists in certain areas. For instance, we have some of the best firewalls so that our members' information is protected. Some of the programs that we have are even better than some of the most sophisticated companies out there. So we partner with a number of third-party vendors in that regard. Then in addition to that, with the technology, the advancement in technology, we have a lot of biometrics. We have facial recognition, for instance, on your phone. If you want to access your credit union account, you just have to, hit that button on the app and just hold it in front of your face, and it recognizes who you are, so you don't have to remember all of these passwords. You go on there, you can transfer money from your account to your son or daughter's account. There's absolutely nothing that you can imagine right now that you need that Dade County Federal Credit Union does not currently provide on their website or on their online banking platform.
Andy, they were visionaries 10 or 15 years ago, maybe even longer than that, said this is what we're going to have. And if you go to Disney World and they show, talking on your watch, right? You go, oh no, that's not going to happen. Really, I'll tell you, somebody that works here fell down the stairs, and you know how she was able to call for help?
With her phone, on her watch.
Right here. Yeah. All right. And that, it didn't save her life, but she couldn't move. And fire rescue came and broke into the house, and she wound up, with being in the hospital. That's because of this thing that somebody 50 years ago, right? The Imagineers, they called them. And who would
have thought, right?
Right. It was just like, holy moly.
That'll never
happen. Or Soupy Sales I think it was that they grab his shoe and they'd be talking. And so all those things, all right, were unbelievable. And they show these little spaceships floating around. You can call them drones if you want.
There you
nowadays,
go.
Right? And you go, right. So let's talk about what you think, Annie, might happen in the banking industry in the next 10 years.
I believe in the next 10 years, we are going to see branches get smaller and smaller because of the foot traffic, right? And all the decline in the foot traffic. But technology is moving so fast that our consumers and members really are taking advantage of the technology. They're using their mobile devices, they're using their laptops, they're doing their banking through the online portal. And if they're not using that, we have video interviews that we could do with our members. I do believe that eventually the branches will be diminishing, but not the banking industry itself. It's just going to be in a different way.
We looked at an interview from 1972 where we said the printed word is not disappearing, it's just changing locations.
Yeah, there you go. One of the things I would like to see, and I can imagine happening, maybe not in my lifetime, but eventually in the future, is the system this computerized system would somehow link. Now, there's a claim out there that it's available. In reality, it doesn't work the way we would like to see it happen, but where it would take your information, or you would submit information from different platforms. For instance, you may have an investment account somewhere. You may have an account with Dade County Federal Credit Union and an account with another bank, multiple things. You may have your trust set up, and all of these different things that you have, and all of your life insurance policy, somehow there's going to be developed a platform where all of this information is going to be collected, gathered, and then this system or individuals behind the system are going to make recommendations to you on how it's best for you to maximize all of these assets that you have. A lot of times people have all of these different things going on, and they somehow cannot consolidate it and make decisions based on that consolidation.
Yes, Amy.
I think he's working on that behind the scenes. I think he's giving us a little snapshot of what he's working on.
Right. So with Amazon, they will tell you what size clothes you wear based upon what you didn't return. And they suggest those things. And that's what you're saying. They take all this buying information from you, to do that. About a year or so ago, there was this thing called artificial intelligence that people became more aware of it. Been around obviously for a long time, and we even on our phones, it suggested sentence, right? And even AI, if you will, the algorithm set up for the things that we buy. So what is AI going to do in the banking industry, and how are you going to adapt to that?
Artificial intelligence is going to provide is providing today a personalized customer service platform, right? So they can, you punch in your name, they already know where you live, what you need, where you're going, what's next on your plate. So it's already here. We're using it at Dade County Federal Credit Union right now just for our lending platform, right? For our auto approvals. And as it evolves, we're going to use it in other areas of the credit union.
So we know we grew up in the era where there was no internet. And so whatever people thought the internet took us, the web pages, to where we are, certainly AI is going to be massive in comparison. And we know there are going to continue to be those changes, and hopefully there will be really positive changes, and whether it's on somebody on staff or creating future programs based upon what you've done. We use it quite frequently, and in 6 months, people's here, the way they look at it completely changed. Before it's no, we can't do it. Okay, watch, all right? Yeah. And so if people are afraid of it, they don't need to be. They can just go pick your one. I happen to do chat, put in and just practice, and people will start to realize you ask the right question, you're going to get an answer. If you don't ask the right question, don't blame it. Look to yourself. And this is about life itself, which is figure out, and they call them prompters, I think. And so that we have to be able to engage in conversations with people so that we can have this reckoning about where we want to be. So, sir, here we are. It's 2024, all right? 2025 is coming up very shortly. Tell us about your continual role with Dade County Federal Credit Union, and how you're going to continue leading the way for your team.
We're always going to be right at the front of this technology that you referred to, or at least we're going to be, as I mentioned to my staff sometimes, we want to be fast followers. We want to make sure that we have the technology, but we want to make sure that the technology is tested and it is suitable for our members. Every credit union, every financial institution is going to have different individuals or people of different needs, people that look at a financial institution for different needs, the needs that they have and the needs that they can satisfy. My job is to make sure that we have every avenue available for every member who may have a different approach to banking or understanding it differently. We're going to have those individuals that all they want is a savings account. They just want to be able to save money. Within that same family, you might have a parent who is more concerned about saving for college and putting some money away for their children. You may have an adult, an older person who's concerned about insurance policies and how, if something happens to me, how are we going to pay back this loan? So we're going to have a number of different, for everyone, we want to make sure that we are their primary financial institution. In order to do that, we have to be able to offer all of these products and services. And that's where we are going to be as Dade County Federal Credit Union. We're going to be at the forefront of these programs.
Wonderful. And we know that many companies, especially larger ones, ask people to fill out a survey. And at some point, you figure out what they want in particular. So when you talk to them, you know what they're looking for. And people want to be comfortable with their financial institution. And we have 1 minute left. And so my next question to Annie is, what do you think you can do to help your current customers be happier with Dade County Federal Credit Union?
I think that the main thing is understanding their needs and talking to the members and making sure that we ask the right questions so that we can provide the right products and services that they need.
That's wonderful. So you train your staff to find out what they're looking for in a very delicate situation where sometimes people don't want to tell it. Yeah. But if they get comfortable enough, they'll talk about the things that they would need. I know we're going to put up the website again in just a moment, so people can find out all the different programs that you have, including your Zumba classes and your walking classes. That's wonderful. Also, you have micro lending classes or lending classes. Yes. Do that. If people need assistance with their down payment or with some non-repayable up to $100,000, they can call or they can visit. They can start that application. And if they don't know how to work it, they can call you. And they can wind up setting up an appointment at one of the local branches. Or on the other hand, you have people that are more sophisticated. Can they open an account online by themselves?
They can, and
they can do it all by themselves, online. They don't have to go to any of your branches. All right, they can do it. Or if they want to walk into one of your branches,
they can make a deposit online, remote deposits, everything.
You can actually, from your computer today, click on one of our. But once you get into the membership program, you can actually click on a button and communicate directly with one of our employees face to face with a camera, and they can actually take over your computer if you'd like and do stuff with you.
So let's go back 25 years. We'd hear one day it would be a cashless society.
We're there.
I paid this morning for something at a fast food to get a cup of coffee. I paid with the $20. She laid a look to me like, what are you doing? I said, I'm sorry.
I can't tell you how many places I've been to where you cannot use cash.
Oh, yes.
They will not accept cash.
So for young people, it's no big deal. But for people that paid for cash for a long time, it is. And so we trust that Dade County Federal Credit Union can continue to lead and to make sure that your clients are happy. And if they got any questions, they can. I don't know if you can call him, but I'll bet if you email him that he would answer.
I do.
All right. And we appreciate you being here, Annie. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here.
We're
going to look right in the red camera over here, and here's what we're going to say. All right, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember, take care of yourself and your family. Have a good day.
No hay duda alguna que nuestra ciudad de Doral es bella y muy privilegiada. Doral es una ciudad que ofrece a residentes las mejores y mayores posibilidades. Pero lamentablemente, después de 20 años de su fundación, estamos atravesando tiempos difíciles y sin el apoyo de nuestras autoridades. El alto costo de la vida. Los precios de la comida han subido enormemente y los sueldos se han quedado estancados, atacando la calidad de vida de nuestros residentes. Nuestras calles son más inseguras porque no tenemos suficientes policías, dejando pocos los que quedan mal pagados y sobretrabajados. Necesitamos más policías y que ganen y vivan dignamente, con buenos sueldos y beneficios. Necesitamos una buena administración de los recursos de nuestra ciudad. Basta del amiguismo. Los oficiales electos deben de actuar y dejar de hablar. Yo soy Juan Carlos Esquivel, candidato a la silla 3 para el Consejo de la Ciudad de Doral este noviembre 5 del 2024. Apóyame con tu voto. Anuncio político pagado y aprobado por la campaña de Juan Carlos Esquivel para la silla 3 del Consejo de la Ciudad de Doral.
En el Doral, Unlimited Impressions and Printing. Impresión de alta calidad, atención personalizada, producción de material gráfico y publicidad impresa. Los mejores acabados y encuadernación con una creatividad absoluta. Unlimited Impressions le ofrece todo lo relacionado en impresión para su empresa. Experiencia y calidad. Llámenos al 305-468-0013 o búsquenos en las redes sociales bajo @Unlimited Impressions. ¿Estás buscando una educación de calidad que se adapte a tu vida ocupada? Entonces no busques más. Must University es tu respuesta. Aquí te ofrecemos una amplia gama de programas 100% en línea y en español diseñados para encajar en tu horario. Nuestros cursos son flexibles y accesibles desde cualquier lugar. Aprende a tu propio ritmo con Must University. Doral Voice es la radio oficial del Doral, con una variedad de programas que ofrecen información, noticias, entretenimiento, deportes y mucho más a toda la comunidad del Doral y el sur de la Florida. Seguimos creciendo con nuestros reporteros en la calle y la participación de nuestra comunidad. Síguenos en las distintas plataformas y redes sociales, la página web, nuestras aplicaciones y muy pronto en nuestra señal radial abierta. Doral Voice.